Arsenal arrive with full focus, ahead of Komo 1907. Clash Gunners, the next pre-season test, is almost here, and Arsenal have arrived with full focus ahead of their clash with Komo 1907. There is plenty to watch in this game. The biggest headline? Bruno Guimaraes could be set for his highly anticipated first appearance for Arsenal. The Brazilian midfielder has now trained with his new teammates, and supporters are eager to see him finally step onto the pitch in the famous red and white. But that is not the only story. Arsenal are also dealing with defensive absences, managing the fitness of returning stars and giving several young players another opportunity to impress. So let's break it all down. But if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you never miss any Arsenal updates on this channel until the next. Bruno Guimaraes. Debut time? This is the moment Arsenal fans have been waiting for. Bruno Guimaraes joined Arsenal after completing his reported £75 million move, and he has now been training with the squad. The expectation is that he could make his Arsenal debut against Komo 1907. However, supporters should remember that this is a predicted lineup, not an officially confirmed starting 11. Because Bruno has only recently returned to training, his minutes could be carefully managed. A short appearance could allow him to get his first minutes in an Arsenal shirt without putting unnecessary pressure on his fitness. And honestly, even 20 or 30 minutes would be enough to get fans excited. Imagine the first touch, the first pass, the first tackle, the first time he combines with his new teammates. After all the transfer talk, Arsenal supporters could finally get their first look at Bruno in action. Bruno has already joined the group. The positive news is that Bruno was already involved in training with Arsenal following the previous session. That is an important step. He now has the opportunity to understand Arteta's instructions, work with his new teammates and begin adapting to Arsenal's style. He is joining a midfield that already contains plenty of quality. Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard, Miles Lewis-Skelly and now Bruno Guimaraes. That gives Mikel Arteta some very interesting options. But against Komo, the main priority will probably be getting Bruno minutes and allowing him to build his match fitness. The predicted Arsenal FEF. A predicted 4-3-3 lineup could look like this. Goalkeeper, David Raya has returned to training and could get minutes as Arsenal continue managing their goalkeeping options during pre-season. Right back, Christian Mosquera could provide an option on the right side, particularly with Arsenal looking to manage the workload of their defenders. Centre-back, Marley Salmon. With several defensive players unavailable, academy defender Marley Salmon could be given another opportunity to gain valuable experience. Centre-back, Gabriel Magalhaes. Gabriel could provide experience and leadership in a defensive line that has been affected by injuries. Left back, Piero Hincapié. Hincapié could complete the predicted back four and provide another left-footed option in defence. Midfield, Bruno Guimaraes. This is the name everyone will be watching. A potential Arsenal debut for the £75 million signing. Midfield, Miles Lewis-Skelly. The young midfielder could continue to receive valuable pre-season minutes. Midfield, Martin Odegaard. The Arsenal captain could provide creativity and control in the middle of the pitch. Right wing, Ethan Nwaneri. Nwaneri could once again be given an opportunity to show his quality in an advanced position. Left wing, Gabriel Martinelli is back with the squad and could use the game to continue building his match sharpness. Striker, Kai Havertz could lead the attack, giving Arsenal another option through the centre. Again, this is a predicted lineup, so the official 11 will only be known when Arsenal announce it. Defensive problems continue. While there is plenty of excitement about Bruno, Arsenal still have concerns at the back. William Saliba remains unavailable as he continues his recovery. Jurrien Timber is also still working his way back and is not expected to be available immediately. That means Arteta has to manage his defensive options carefully. This is exactly why pre-season is useful. Young players can get opportunities, new signings can settle into the team, and the coaching staff can test different combinations. But Arsenal will also be hoping their key defenders return safely and avoid any further setbacks. Saka and Rice are back, but will they play? Another positive development is the return of Bukayo Saka and Declan Rice to full team training. Both players are extremely important to Arsenal, but just because they are training does not automatically mean they will start every pre-season match. Arteta has to think about the bigger picture. The season is long. There is no reason to take unnecessary risks with important players during preparation, so supporters may have to wait a little longer before seeing the returning stars get significant minutes. Komo 1907 are the next test. Arsenal's opponents, Komo 1907, will provide another useful test during pre-season. Komo are coached by Cesc Fabregas, one of the most recognisable former Arsenal players. That alone makes the fixture interesting for Arsenal supporters. Fabregas knows the club, he understands Arsenal's football culture, and now he is leading Komo into a match against his former side. For Arsenal, however, the focus has to remain on their own preparation. The result matters, but the bigger objective is getting the squad ready. Fitness, sharpness, tactical understanding, team chemistry, and giving players the minutes they need. Miles Rewskelly, Chelsea story emerges. And now there is another story Arsenal fans are talking about. According to an exclusive report attributed to Bobby Vincent, Chelsea have been approached regarding a potential transfer for Miles Rewskelly. This should be treated as a reported transfer story, not a confirmed bid or completed deal. Arsenal have reportedly intended to keep the highly rated youngster in the squad. However, the report suggests that a very large financial offer could potentially make the club consider its position. And this is where things become interesting, because Arsenal supporters know exactly how highly Rewskelly is regarded. He is young, he is versatile, he has already gained valuable first-team experience, and he has shown that he can handle the pressure of playing for Arsenal. So the idea of selling him to Chelsea would naturally create a huge debate among supporters. Would you sell Miles? This is the question Arsenal fans are now asking. If Chelsea came in with a massive offer, should Arsenal even consider it? Some supporters would say absolutely not. Keep the youngster, develop him, give him more opportunities, let him become an important part of the squad. Others might argue that a huge financial offer could be difficult to ignore, particularly after Arsenal added Bruno Guimaraes to the midfield. But there is another side to the argument. Selling a young player who could become a major first-team star can sometimes be much more expensive in the long run. You might receive a huge fee today, but what if that player develops into one of the best midfielders in the league? What if Arsenal then need to spend even more money trying to replace him? That is why this would be a very difficult decision. Bruno's arrival changes the conversation. Bruno's arrival certainly makes Arsenal's midfield competition more intense, but competition is not necessarily a bad thing. It can push young players to improve. Rewskelly can learn from experienced players, he can compete for minutes, and Arteta can use different midfield combinations depending on the opponent. So Arsenal do not necessarily have to sell him simply because another midfielder has arrived. In fact, keeping him could give Arsenal even more depth. The key question is whether the club believes he has a long-term future at the Emirates, and based on the reported situation, Arsenal originally planned to keep him. The bigger picture. When you look at Arsenal right now, there are several different stories happening at once. Bruno Guimaraes is beginning his Arsenal journey. Saka and Rice are back in training. Martinelli is building match sharpness. Young players like Nwaneri and Rewskelly continue to get opportunities. At the same time, Saliba and Timber remain unavailable, and Arsenal are still dealing with questions about defensive depth. That is why this Komo match could be useful. Arteta can test players, he can manage minutes, he can experiment with combinations, and he can see which players are ready to take their opportunities. And that's the latest Arsenal update ahead of the Komo 1907 clash. Gunners, Bruno Guimaraes could be in line for his highly anticipated Arsenal debut, while Saka and Rice are back in training and the team continues to manage the injuries to Saliba and Timber. But now I want to hear from you. Should Bruno start against Komo, or should Arteta give him limited minutes? And what would you do if Chelsea came in with a massive offer for Miles Rewskelly? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed the update, make sure you like, subscribe to Arsenal Updates, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the latest Arsenal news, transfers, training updates, and injury news. Thanks for watching, Gunners. Stay tuned to Arsenal updates for more. And as always, come on you Gunners, this is Arsenal Updates. See you in the next one.